Hey everybody and welcome. In today's video we're going to be replacing all 6 speakers in my 2019 Ram 1500 and the ones that I chose were these Infinity reference. I got them refurbished on Amazon, so I had to get 2 boxes of these, the 9633s, and 1 box of the 3032s. I believe these were something like 90 bucks and I think this was 45 bucks. And again, had to get 2 of these because there's 4 total door speakers and 2 dash speakers there. So for comparison, I just wanted to show the difference here. So the Infinity versus the factory. And then again, the Infinity on the right versus the factory. Let's see quite a bit more to it. Beyond that, the door speakers are going to use a 10mm and a 6mm. And weirdly, the dash speaker uses a 7mm. I did need an extension for the doors. I used a 1/4" ratchet, and then I also just had my magnetic telescoping tool in case I dropped anything. A small screwdriver and some trim panel remover tools will make the job a lot easier for you. And if you don't want to do wiring, the door speakers are this Metra package is 726514. And then Metra didn't have it in stock, so I had to get just a knockoff 727902. It is that part number right there. And it worked from Amazon. So I read online the Metra ones had reverse polarity, things like that. I didn't notice it when I did the dash speakers, so I also don't really have a great ear for that, but it sounded good. So coming at the video, I just did the driver's side, and for the video I'll do the passenger side, all 3, so you can see that I just wanted to do it once myself to make sure I knew what I was doing, but also kind of work out some of the bugs, and then share some knowledge and some of the tips and tricks that I learned along the way with you as you watch. So hopefully this video helps. If it does, please like, subscribe, help the channel out. But big difference, and the reason why I was doing this, I should have started with that. I had 2 blown out speakers already. When I first bought the truck, the driver door speaker was blown out, and I lived with it for 6-7 months, and I was like, you know what, it's time. So when I was doing the one, figured they were all pretty similar. Didn't want to have to jump back in again and do it later, so I replaced all 6 speakers. What I will say is it's not nearly as bad as it looks. It can be a little scary. For me, I just get nervous pulling hard on plastic because the door panels are. I think they might crack, but I had perfect luck on the driver's side, so hopefully that doesn't change for the passenger side. All right, so we're at the passenger side dash. Just going to work my way from the front to the back. When doing these, not a whole lot of room to work between the windshield, but not too bad. This one's actually surprisingly kind of a pliable plastic, not as hard as you would expect. I just like to be careful with these, try not to break anything. So just so you can see the bottom of the piece here, that's what all the pins and clips kind of look like there. Most of them are in the corner here, so that's and that's why I started there with the big trim tool. So time for the 7mm. I do have the magnet on deck. This is the part that worries me the most. And actually for this, what I did on the other side is I kind of wedged myself outside of the truck and looked through the window because there's really not much room inside. This is the part where you want to be careful. Don't want to drop anything at this last step. All right, so both are out. Time to pop the speaker up. And there is just a little white tab here on the bottom. So the other side I was able to press it with my finger. And I do have a little screwdriver here just in case. I thought I did. There we go. All right, free and clear. Now what I'm gonna do is take the Infinity speaker and I'm gonna plug in the two connections. They're different sizes. I don't know if you can see that there. They are different sizes, so can't mess it up. So let's see, just doing that off camera for just a second. I did find there is, on these harnesses, plug them into the speakers, quite a bit of resistance on them, pushing them down. So there it is. Like I said, some people had reported reverse polarity on that, so I guess you'd have to rewire the inside of the harness or pop these little wire connectors out and switch their places if that is the case, but I did not notice it on the driver's side, and I'm really hoping I don't notice it on the passenger side. All right, so time to pop this guy back in. Doesn't seem to be lining up super great. The other one dropped in nice and easy, so just want to make sure that maybe I have it backwards. Try looping it around the other way. That seemed to work. Now the real test is, will the screw start? So let's see. These did go in pretty easy. Get them fully hand tight. And I will snug them down. Once they are snug, we'll do an audio test. All right, so now it is time to see how it sounds. It's got local radio. Unfortunately, here the radio station that was playing would violate copyright laws on YouTube. So instead of that radio music, you can see the speaker is working, is vibrating. So back to the video in 3, 2, 1. So that is our dash speaker. I'm gonna pop that panel back in. Again, didn't see or hear anything that sounded tingy or bad. So hoping that we are doing good. Alright, dash is done. Alright, so I'm probably going to get in the way quite a few times, I would imagine, when I'm removing stuff, but basically it all boils down to, got one bolt in front of the handle here, and you got 2 bolts on this little panel here, and other than that, everything just comes towards you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove those bolts, I'm going to disconnect our window regulator, and the switch, and then once that's disconnected, ready to just pull the panel out. So trim tool and actually a small flat screwdriver here, and what I did, let's see if I can get a light just a little bit. So I actually started with a small flat, kind of lifted up the lip, and then got in behind it with the trim tool. Pops out. So it's always nice to have multiple trim tools, just makes your life a little easier. You never know exactly which one you're going to use, but definitely helps to have them. And that one does just pop right off, so not too much effort there. There was some Loctite on these from the factory. These are 10mm bolts, so I did go at it with 1/4-inch ratchet as a result. There was the top one on the back door too, the one by the door handle. Really took some effort, not a lot of effort, but just comparatively, it was definitely on there a lot tighter. Alright, so these 3 are off, and I would recommend popping this out. Just makes your life a lot easier. You know, when the door panel's off, you have the door panel in your hand. You don't want the wiring harness to, you know, get stretched out, all that kind of stuff. So just doing it now, it's a lot easier. See, that quick. Little tab on the bottom of the green connector, push down on that, and it pops right out. So not too bad. I mean, here's kind of the part that always scares me. You can use the trim panel tools if you want to, but honestly, you just take your hands on the edges of the bottom and just give it a firm just pop towards you, and all these ones pop. This is on a flexible, so this is not like static in there, so you don't have to worry about breaking that. And then there's quite a bit of length on the internal handle as well, so don't really need to worry too much. Just pull it out towards you firmly, and you should be good to go. I said, it does take quite a bit of force. Always worried about breaking it, but there we go. And I like to keep this unlocked, that way I know when it's flush or not flush. And the weird part is this doesn't go up and over, it still comes straight back out, so the whole thing is just straight back out at you. There we go. All right. So the door panel is loose, and I kept a handy dandy cardboard box that the speakers came in because it removes all of the tension off of the door panel, so it's not resting on anything right now, just the cardboard box on the bottom, which is perfect. I don't need to waste time disconnecting those things, and I have perfect access to the speaker. And I'll move the camera just a touch. So now it's time to disconnect the speaker. So the speaker is 4 6mm bolts. So just 4 here. And then after all 4 are out, just grab a corner, pull towards yourself, and then it pops out. There's a little white tab you push down on, speaker comes out, and this guy is ready for the garbage. Next, pop into the Metro wiring harness. Again, this one is 726514. Again, one of these is bigger, one of them smaller, so you can't mess it up. And then it's time to just plug them in. I'm going to do this rested on the seat because what I did is, actually I might be able to do it here. I put my thumb underneath this to kind of brace it for support because it does take a little bit of resistance to kind of click on, as you can see there. Just don't want to bend the tab. There we go, good. Now they're both on. And then just plug it in. What I did is this kind of has an angle to it. I don't know if you can see. So it's a little bit tilted. So I just tilted, I made sure that all of these were facing towards the center of the truck. So this one, I'm gonna have it tilted away from the windshield, and the back ones I had tilted away from the rear bumper. That way the center of the sound's in the middle of the truck. I know nothing about audio, so maybe that's the way to do it. I don't know, just made sense to me. Maybe it's all wrong. And at the end of the day, I'm replacing a blown up speaker with a not blown up speaker. And that is really what matters. So I plugged it in. And then I always do this, just take 2. Kind of thread them on there. And then it's not going to drop out and rip the harness out of it. Then ready to pop the bottom 2 down. And these line up like close, but definitely not perfect. So kind of helps to have the speaker a little ways away from the door. These are kind of that like aggressive wood type threads. They don't have to, like, you're not going to cross thread them because there's nothing to cross thread into. So what that means is as long as you can get it close, that's all you really have to worry about. And it's running into plastic, so do not over tighten this. Just enough to seat it. Actually, kind of like an oil filter. It's like you don't want it to leak, like you want it to be seated, but you definitely don't want to over torque it. Alright, so before putting everything back on, go in and test the audio. Alright, so once more, radio station is playing really well, speaker clarity is coming in really well, but copyright claims on YouTube can't play the radio in the middle of my video, so here we are. So gonna, again, go back to the regularly scheduled video here, audio coming back in 3, 2, 1. Good to go. So gonna connect this back up first, kind of thread it through the door there. And then I'm just going to make sure this is clicked in. It does mount. There's like a mount on the bottom, which you just did there. I realized I'm forgetting a step. So I'm going to put this back down for a second. I like to use the wide trim tool for this. You got to make sure that all these are white or yellow. A couple of them inevitably are going to pop out of the door. So it's these little pieces here. I got to make sure that you get those back into the door, if they did pop out of the door. So a bit annoying, but much, much smarter to do it. So you don't have a rattling door. These are a real pain to get out. Alright, and that is everything. So all the clips are in. Nothing more has popped out. So just gotta line it up, make sure my lock is in place again. Now that I set it down, and I like to just pick a corner and then just give it a good pop. You hear one of them popped in, and that's enough. Now I can line the rest of these up on this side. Another pop. And then I can work on the bottom. Alright, so we're back in. Pop the window switch in. And we are just going to put our bolts back in and we'll be done. pop the two trim pieces back in. The best way to orient them is that the screwdriver hole is on the bottom of this one and on the top of that one. And then repeat the process for the back door. The back door is actually the same, 1 bolt here, 2 bolts underneath, 6mm bolts for the speaker, same wiring harness, same speaker. So gonna end off the video here. If this is something that helped you, please like, subscribe, it helps out the channel. And again, if you need part numbers, any of those things, feel free to like or comment, actually I should say. But hopefully I went over that all pretty clearly. Not too bad of a job. Honestly, these doors are pretty nice. They just pop straight out and it should be good to go. So thanks for watching, as always. And if you're doing this too, hopefully you get to enjoy some louder music.